Hi. Before we get started with today's episode of Concept Conception, first and foremost, I know a lot of people do this whenever they have a duology of videos, but if you haven't seen Concept Conception Episode 5 yet, go and check that out. It is a continuation of that episode, pretty much. Also, I would be remiss if I did not tell you that the 100th day of quarantine is this upcoming Sunday, June the 21st, 2020. At least for me and my brother, it will be our 100th day of quarantine caused by COVID-19, assuming this is still going on by then. Which it probably will be. Also, one last thing I want to address. 2 drawings will be covered in this video, not 3. I was going to do a third, but it did not scan well at all. I attempted to restore it in the amount of time I had between recording the dialogue for this and recording the dialogue for the last one, but, yeah, obviously it wasn't enough time. So, yeah. Apologies in advance for that. Oh, come on, Future William, we all know—
Stop lying!
Thank you. At any rate, with that out of the way, let's get started with this episode of Concept Conception. Joshua's Object Camp presents Concept Conception. Hello and welcome back, guys. It's me again, and welcome back to another episode of Concept Conception. How are you guys doing today? The last couple days have been a real emotional roller coaster for me, and yeah, a lot of stuff is happening at the moment, I'll say that much. At any rate, thank you, first off, for the positive response, or I guess, decent response to Concept Conception Episode 5. It's been a long time since I've done Concept Conception, as an episode in general, let alone a series, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that it's nice to see that people are liking it. Kinda. Maybe. I don't know. At any rate, yeah. So anyway, today we're gonna be starting with bullets. Yeah, that's what I said. I said— Yes, that is what I said! I said bullets. Bullets. At any rate, we have a bit of a bullet-themed rocket ship here, about to collide or pass by what is a exploding planet of sorts. As the great philosopher Phileas Swiftius would say,
That's a lot of damage!
if you take a close look at this particular image, you'll also see that there's a little bit of a corner cut off here. And I don't just mean the little corner down there with the little rank in it. There is also a very similar cutoff around the top left's guild symbol. Kinda like as if this was a screen. I wonder if somebody's controlling this from the other side of the screen. Moving on to the back of this one, we have another long segment. The real name of this individual is Dr. Orundus van Bevelo. His bounty hunting alias is bullets. His preferred weapon of choice is his bullet-shaped starcrafts. His personal favorite quote:
"My effective marketing, it will conquer all."
The notable accomplishments that he's had during his time as a bounty hunter with the guild include, but are not limited to, being the first bounty hunter within the guild to use technology exclusively as his hunting method. The age of his machine is pretty much infinite. The age of the Doctor himself, though, as a veteran hunter, is 89. The height varies depending on whether or not you're talking about the individual or the machine. The weight, logically, also differs. His bio is as follows. Dr. OVB was formerly the warden of a mental institute, until he was found guilty of releasing patients he found to be innocent of all charges. He then retreated into the Alaskan tundra for several decades. During that period of time, he stumbled across an energy source so powerful and so archaic that when fused with anything made of metal, it would be capable of plowing through planets. But controlling it himself would be impossible. However, after tampering with an old arcade cabinet and configuring the machine to be linked with it, he simply used convenient video game marketing tactics to produce a game that would destroy galaxies in one play session. Signed, Lip Sync Sr., head of the guild, and Lip Sync Jr., S-rank minister. Other than that, there's not too much to say, just mostly a generic space drawing with an exploding planet, not too much to write home about at the end of the day. Although the background, I will say, is easily the most solidly shaded of the bunch, if only because it's space and 99% of the background is just black. Right, so we are going to ignore the fact that it kinda took the better part of a week to edit that last segment. I know. I'm probably not going to make any progress on Jock this week. There's an addendum related to that at the end of the video. I don't like doing two addendums for the same video, but here we are. This is the reality we live in. It's 2020. What are you going to do about it? At any rate, we're going to move on to the last drawing, which is... something street. Avenue, boulevard, road, etc., etc., etc. But, yeah. This hunter, whatever it is, never really got a name. It does have a defined rank, though, which is B rank, so this must have been a pretty effective hunter. Because B rank, in case I didn't say this in the last episode, B rank is, pretty up there. It's pretty high up. Now, I don't normally do this. I like to get done with what's on the front before I flip over to what's on the back. I like to get done with what's on the front before I flip over to what's on the back. But for you people, for you lovely people, I'm gonna make an exception. That, and I feel as though it's presented better that way anyway. This thing is probably the most incomplete drawing out of the lot that ended up being shown. The sixth drawing was even more incomplete than this, in case you're wondering, which may or may not be the reason behind why it wasn't scanned properly. It's not like there was nothing on it or anything, it's just the line work didn't really show. At any rate, so instead of me getting all into character and dramatic for this, instead, I'm just gonna read it off as I have it on the paper. Real name, not applicable. Alias, well, that was never filled out exactly, was it? Weapon of choice, this was actually filled out. Anything on the street. Favorite quote, not applicable, obviously, because this is a street, it can't really talk. Notable accomplishments, being the first bounty hunter to always be present at executions. Pay attention to that. That actually does play a little bit into the overall concept. Age is 79 for whatever reason. Maybe 79 years ever since the street was first built. The height varies, depending, I guess, on what point you're at in the street. And the weight, for whatever reason, is
1,587 pounds.
I'm not sure if that's the weight of your average street or not, but I figured at the time that the street must have been pretty friggin' heavy. Right, moving back over. The technique has improved a little bit here. You can kind of see a bit of a cobblestone texture for the road itself. Not too bad, not too bad. And, unlike the Mount Trificolia drawing, there is actually an attempt at
Drawing grass.
This is not too bad. A little less pen in this area would have done this place a lot of good, granted, but I don't know, maybe. Let me know what you think of it. But at any rate, it doesn't look too bad. Granted, there are other things in this drawing that look absolutely atrocious. The fire, for instance, coming out of that house, yes, that's not a giant tongue, or a giant icicle, or a giant part of Needleman. I don't know why Needleman was the first thing that came to mind, I'm sorry. But yeah, that is supposed to be fire coming out of that house. There's also the water coming out of this sewer system here, which is supposed to be raising this manhole cover. It looks like a piece of salami that's been left in the freezer for too long. Like, yeah, that thing's frozen. That thing ain't falling out anytime soon. I definitely improved as I went along with these drawings. It's too bad none of the drawings from after this were actually in a completed enough state to be shown. There's also one final little thing here. There's a little bit of text on the front image. Warning! Do not walk on this road unless you don't fear death. Otherwise, you are very stubborn. But at any rate, I alluded to on the back that this hunter is always present at executions. Believe it or not, this street is actually part of the lip sync base. That about does it for this episode of Concept Conception. Au revoir. You thought I was gonna say goodbye. You thought I was gonna say goodbye normally. No. No. This is Canada. This is Canada. We know other languages. Right, so this video kind of took longer than expected to finish, along with the last Concept Conception. So I must confess, I've gotten very little work done on Jock over the last little while or so. Also due to, IRL events that are going on at the moment. IRL stands for in real life, in case you don't know. So I have made the difficult decision to forego an upload on the next upload day. For those of you who are unaware, it seems as though I've accidentally put myself into a bit of an upload schedule, one upload every 2 weeks, stuff like that. Maybe you haven't seen some of the uploads, that's probably because you haven't seen, the second channel, but at any rate, the next upload day, when I'm recording this, after this video is supposed to go up, is June 29th, 2020. I'm not making any promises that there's gonna be a video that day. I'm just saying. I might just need to take some time and work on Jock a little bit, and, if Jock still isn't done, then I'll come back with something, but I just need to take a little bit of time off, work on Jock, and recuperate from all of these events that have been going on IRL, so sorry about that, if you actually did enjoy the content I've been putting out, the 25 of you that seem to keep watching my content. But, at any rate, again, thank you very much for watching. Sorry that I had to post this little addendum in the first place, but again, I was hoping to get more work done than I actually was, but, alas, these things do happen sometimes. So, yeah, not only will you not be hearing from me until after the 100th day of quarantine, you also probably will not be hearing from me until July. So, I don't know. Maybe you'll hear from me at the end of June. I don't know. Maybe. No promises. I literally keep using the same outro over and over again, don't I?